So, Michael, good to have you with us today.
Well, thank you for having me on.
You know, just reading through the details of your parents' story, basically they were on a trip on this cruise ship. They went to get dressed for dinner. They never came back to meet other family members at that dinner. And a little while later, some of their things, I believe their shoes and your mother's bag, were sitting on the, on some chairs in an area where they had been spending time, and they had vanished. First of all, what do you think happened to them?
Well, I wish I can answer that question, and I'm not sure if I can ever answer that question. It's been almost 2 years now. Mother's Day would mark the second anniversary of their disappearance. And we just don't know. And we wish we can get to more information on what happened.
How long did it take for the cruise ship to turn around and try to find them?
The cruise ship didn't turn around, continued steam on, and after many hours went by, the first report, the first time that their belonging was spotted was 11:30 p.m. on March 12, and not until close to 3 a.m. in the morning when the ship notified the Coast Guard. Then at that time the Coast Guard asked the ship to stop and turn around and join with the search. Too much time went by.
All right, son Michael, it's a terrible story, and I'm sorry that you had to go through it. Hopefully getting the word out there will force some changes within the industry. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me on.
All right, let's see what our A-list has to say about this. You know, I look at this, Dr. Michael Bodden, it is, in terms of evidence, you're trying to figure out what happened to these people. Where do you even begin when the cruise ship didn't even notify anyone on the ship that anything had happened for 3 hours?
Yeah, I think typically in these cases, the cruise ship just wants to forget about it. They don't collect evidence.
What kind of human being can just forget about it? I don't understand. This is the aunt and the other daughter. So I'm picturing, they're screaming at these people. You got to stop this boat. You got to turn it around. And they don't do anything for 3 hours?
Part of it is turning the boat around, but part of it is also going to the cabin, photographing it, photographing where the purse is it empty, anything taken out, collecting evidence.
We saw this case the other day where the couple went over. They immediately turned on the search lights. They stopped the boat in its tracks.
That was
even
miraculous.
That took 4 hours. But they found those people. I just can't even imagine the outrage if something like this happened to my family, and I can only imagine how this...
But part of it is collecting evidence and documenting evidence when people disappear. Like the Smith boy who went over the side of the ship. There was all kinds of blood spatters and other things that nobody documented except a passenger took a picture of the blood, one of the blood stains. Right. There should be some kind of ability on the ship, some kind of traveler's or passenger advocate who can be gone to, who protects the rights of the passenger.
But these aren't forensic science celebrity cruises. These people, the people who run the ships, are there to entertain and to make sure there's enough whitefish salad in the buffet. They're just not equipped to do it.
What
Maybe
kind
they
of
should
human
be.
beings let someone fall over the edge and they don't do anything for 3 hours before they even tell people, like, we've got a huge problem right now?
Pure ignorance. And obviously they don't have the ability or the wherewithal. They should have, but they don't have on-board investigators or ex-FBI people to tell them what to do.
It's worse than ignorance. I mean, it's criminal liability. You think about this woman who was raped, this California woman who was allegedly raped a couple of years ago, and what is she told? Oh, gather the evidence up to yourself in the cabin. Sit back and you got to control your drink.
Put everything in the bag.
She also had at least 5 drinks.
But why is it? So what if she drank?
Well,
so what? That's not
she's saying it's
doesn't mean she's entitled to be a victim, but who knows what happened? If she had more than 5 drinks, she's not the greatest witness as to what happened.
But we'll never know, will we? Because they didn't investigate.
And what appears to be happening here is because there isn't a structure of law out in these cruise ships, they just are sort of letting it go. They're not going to worry about it. They need to have some sort of structure.
I think they're doing their best, but their best is pretty crappy.
No, it's not good.
Yeah, there's also pressure on them to keep on schedule because they have the next boatload of people to pick up.
Yeah, it's going to make me want to go on a cruise ship anytime soon.
We're going to balance business with
it's not
what's good for the people.
Their business is booming. That's the amazing thing.
There's the problem. All right, thanks, you guys. Thank you very much, everybody, for being with us today. On deck at the live desk, Prince William may have some explaining to do. We're going to tell you why the first in line to the throne is being
Year-old George Allen Smith was on a sun-splashed honeymoon. He had his beautiful bride by his side.